Good morning. Hold on. Wait. Trying to get some intro music going on there, okay? It's almost afternoon. I know. I slept until after 4:30. I've been sleeping until 5 o'clock lately. So, Bobby Gas, I'm kind of a lazy ass, I guess. Been stretching my legs, my hamstrings, and it's helping my back so I can sleep longer till 4 o'clock. Who knew, huh? Hey, well, welcome to the Sunday morning show because it's not as early, I guess. Welcome to Cat's channel. I'm gonna show you this shirt here. It's for my theme music. Here we go. You see that? Isn't that neat? Woo. I know some of you are going, well, Steve, that's a damn nice butt. Well, thank you very much for showing the shirt, but thanks for looking anyway. I appreciate that. I was in Cleveland this week, and there's certain times of year when you travel, you can stay in the very best places for the very best price. And this is one of those times of year. So I was right downtown at Hyatt Regency, which is across from the House of Blues. They got great shrimp and grits in the House of Blues. I will recommend the shrimp and grits. Okay, and they even gave me screwed up something. They gave me a second one, which I gave to someone, a homeless person outside. So that was nice. So okay, and here is Cat. So yeah, you know what we're doing. Come on, dude, I need to go. So that was fun. There wasn't any really show. I didn't go to a show at the House of Blues. I didn't know anything that was going on. And at night, you know what I do at night? I watch your videos. That's what I do. There's been a lot of vinyl tags, so it wasn't like I was sitting around. And also, Jeopardy! Tournament Champions was on. How can I miss that? So, look at that. Jake and Elwood Blues. I used to do a skit for Christmas parties and stuff. There was a Jake and Elwood, and I've done that a few times. Me and another guy, we went to a bar for someone's birthday as Jake and Elwood. They threw the music on the intercom, and it was a talk about having fun. I was Jake, he was Elwood. All right, Cat's settling in, folks, so I can show some music. I got some great stuff today. We got Bunches of Bowie and some other neat things. So let us begin. And we're going to start just with David Bowie, okay? Ta-da! David Bowie in the background. And to me, Bowie, when I think of him, you talk about, he didn't really create style. To me, he adapted to style. You just think about it. The phrases, the hippie, the mod, the hippie mod, the glam, the soul, electronic. There was more of avant pop, shall we say, dance pop. All these different styles. He had such an ability to understand what was happening, and then to come in and take that and really make it his own until the mid-'80s. And by the mid-'80s, he began to lose his way. And that's really because the people that were the big David Bowie fans were getting older, and the new group of people go, he's old. I mean, it just happens, right? It just happens. But Bowie would come in, and he would take that style, but then he would dress it, and then people would just follow. And so he is just so known for different things. It wasn't like he created it, but he adapted to it, and he adapted his dress and mannerisms, and it was really incredible what he did. So he was a musical chameleon. Well, my record store, Radio Wasteland, who I give my 401k to. Well, he got in a David Bowie collection, 20 albums. Now, for many years, the only David Bowie I had on album was his Greatest Hits Volume 1. I got it out of Columbia Record Club back in the mid-'70s. And that's all the Bowie I needed. I wasn't a fanatic. But then with the advent of CDs, I got his back catalog, and I have the whole thing. And I just began buying albums back in the 90s from Bowie, because they weren't that expensive. And then in the aughts and now, they're a little bit more expensive now. And especially since he passed. bop. So I was able to get 4 albums. There was more I would have liked, but 4 because they're original press from David Bowie. So let's get into this right away. And the first one I did not have on vinyl was Ziggy Stardust, Spiders from Mars. I had a CD. I had a special collector's edition CD on this, so it wasn't like I'd ignored it. This came out in 1972. And so he changed, Ziggy Stardust, which, he took Ziggy from his friend Iggy Pop, how he became Ziggy, and on his previous tour he had seen a group and it was called the Stardust Cowboys. He liked that name, and he bought the records, so he took, suddenly he became Ziggy Stardust, and he came out with this. It's, supposedly a concept album. That was the start, but concept kind of falls apart on here. But what you did get was Mick Ronson, and you got some extremely fat sounding guitars. When you think of Moon Age Dreams, Surfaga City, those they scream, hang on to yourself. Listen to the guitar going on. Guitar Mick Ronson takes more front and center. But then there's also, he adds drama to the music with the strings section and the different things. It begins with 5 years, just this beautiful orchestrated strings going on along with the guitar. Let's see, what else was on there? Lady Stardust, Lady Stardust Star. Just, they add a different kind of beauty to the whole album. So this was just really, I was happy to get this. It has the lyrics and everything on there. I say that all the time. And all of these, actually, I could get into the David Bowie fan club. So that's, might get around to it. Cat is really wanting me to pet him. He is kind of blasted my arm here. Pet me. All right. Then there's the Berlin Trilogy. So, okay, David Bowie had a tiny cocaine habit that put him down to about 90 pounds. He was quite thin and just living on cocaine basically. So he went to Berlin in the mid 70s with Iggy Pop of all people to clean up. With Iggy Pop to clean up in Berlin. Okay, well, it worked out all right for him, so what can you say? But he came up with the Berlin Trilogy because he got with Brian Eno. And the first album they put out, this came out in 1977, was Low. And all I could say is David Bowie fans had to go, what the heck is this album about? My God. This was a dance challenging album. It was really cutting edge because he went in, he began to use synthesizers and electronics. But he went in full boat. It wasn't like, let's dabble a little bit. Heck no. Side A has vocals, and there's these really jagged guitars and droning cymbals, and the vocals, he really layered them with Eno's help here. Side B is ambient, and he just delved into the ambient territory. It's all instrumental, and it's a little strange. Now, let's face it, Bowie is really blocked on any of his, if he sings, it's not going on. But I can put on some of the other stuff, this ambient stuff. And I'm going to play that. And it's weird. It's a little different. But if you've never heard it, take a listen to see what he was doing. It was so different. It was so out there. Eno was a conduit for Bowie's ideas, and that's what Bowie needed. He has an idea guy, and Eno was able to take this. And so you kind of take, what was going on with Kraftwerk and even the post-punk band Wire. You wrapped it all in, and you come out with Low. There was they had a hit on here, Sound and Vision, kind of a hit. But this wasn't hitting the dance floor, folks. It was different. Then late in 77, he came out with the next one, and it was Heroes. And, you know, and these also, they all have, you know, I still have the cards in here. Little fan club, look at that. Hey, pretty cool, huh? And got some different albums and that we can get. I thought that was just neat. These are such beautiful pressings. Whoever had it was a fan because they really took care of their music. I gotta tell you that. So this came out in, 77, but they added in Robert Fripp. And so the music began to change. It was still the basic setup. Side A had vocals, side B was more instrumental. But it was a little bit stronger. You know, the vocal songs, they're a little fuller and harder rhythms going on. So slightly more listenable. With the instrumentals, they were a little more detailed, and to me, I thought that they had more depth to them. Challenging, yes. Groundbreaking, yes. Still, it's all there. On here, he had the hit Heroes, of course, and this was just really good stuff. But you can hear this difference. Also, because he wasn't on drugs, he went on tour finally, and he had been on tour for a while and began to make friends and connections, which really helped expand him into other areas, especially like the movies. So then the third one came out in 1979. He did a live album right in between that, but then he did the third one, and that is Lockjaw. See that? And we have that. Okay. So this one came out. I was like, what's wrong with this one? When I was in college, I go, God, what kind of picture is that? I never bought it. This one was his most accessible, the Berlin Trilogy. There are no instruments in here. Instead, it's just a handful kind of concise pop songs. He began to bring back in rhythms, and guitar work became more prominent. And also, when you listen, it's a mixture of new wave, but also world music and African music. And you think, this is 1979 with Eno. Who else was Eno producing? He was over with the Talking Heads, doing Fear of Music, and then Remain in Light. And these African rhythms went right over into the Talking Heads. Fascinating when you kind of think about that with Eno, what was going on in his mind and how he was doing stuff. The other thing is, on this album, Eno had this method that he introduced Bowie to, that they used. It was the Peter Schmidt's oblique strategy cards, where they just write down weird stuff, and you pull the card. Okay, we're doing this on this song. So, example, he does the song on here, Boys Keep Swinging. And what they did on Boys Keep Swinging is they pull a card and says, all right, the musicians have to swap instruments. So the musicians had to play different instruments that they don't normally play. There was the song Move On. They pulled the card and it said, take the chords from all the young dudes and you have to play them backwards. What the heck, But that's what it said. That's what they had to do. And so when you learn about those things and you listen to these songs, you're going, okay, let me listen for this. In Red Money, they had to take the backing tracks from Ziggy Stardust's Sister Midnight, and they had to incorporate that into the song. But again, this was more accessible, and rock fans began to dig this one more, and it sold better. So really, an interesting period of Bowie's life, very experimental. hope you enjoyed how those tracks sound. You can kind of hear what he had going on.
Story wonder how the dollar went down. Come and get a word to Mr. Father. Hey, oh, wish me well. Seems like nothing I could fly into the eye of golden pie. It's raining, I will see this one these days, one these days. Can I get a word for one these days?
Little VCLT I want to show you. There's a channel in Sweden. His name's Jim, and his channel is My Left Toe. Jim, why my left toe? That's something different. But he's a newer channel. He has 43 subs, and so he's obviously trying to build up. I really like Jim, and we've communicated back and forth. He hit me up on Messenger and says, "I have something for you. You mind if I send you some CDs?" That's great. Let me tell you, it's expensive to ship stuff from there. So he sent me. I had this on vinyl, but I didn't have this on CD, and it's really, really good. And this is a Memphis Slim, Slim Shout. Not Memphis, it's Sunnyland Slim. Slim Shouts. This guy's a piano player, played in the Chicago music scene for a very long time. Really neat stuff. This is from a Swedish, this is more Swedish folk, pop from the late 90s. Fred Ackerström. And it's groove chord. Sorry, James. I am not sure. Something totally different I've never listened to, and I just dig that kind of music. Very folksy. Love the Swedish vocals, obviously. A pub rock band that James has seen, and is Jim has seen. It's called The Count. It's called Bishops, and it's called The Count. And this is a pub rock band from the late 70s. And these guys rock. I mean, they just come out and they just smack you in the face and began playing hard. Bishops. And he also sent me, and he just saw a concert, and he has footage. C.W. Stone King. A C.W. Stone King, kind of a blues world folk person. I had a New Orleans vibe to it. It was very unique sounding. The guy's voice is just kind of more of a growl almost going on. Extremely interesting. Really like this. Jungle Blues. So I had those on my as I traveled this week in my CD player in my car. So great stuff, Jim. Thank you. My Left Toe. And I visited my buddy here, Bill Young from Michigan Record Club, and I brought him some stuff at Christmas time, and he gave me an album here, and it was the Kinks, and this was live in London, and it wasn't even open up. It's live sets from 73 and 77. I don't have much Kinks on vinyl, so this is great to have, and really enjoyed it. So thank you, Bill from Michigan Record Club. Thank you, Jim from My Left Toe. Those were extremely nice, and I truly appreciate the VCLT and the Love Train. I'm trying to watch time so I don't go real long. I'm trying to be better this year, but I got this. This came out from Bop Records. But I had this CD for a very long time, The Michelle Elephant Gun, and I showed this, I played this as my backing music one time. These guys are out of Japan, and what they are is it's Japanese garage rock. So The Michelle Elephant Gun, where did they get that? Well, they had one group they really liked, was called The Headcoats. Then there was an album by The Dam that they really liked, and the album was called Machine Gun Etiquette. So they were going to call themselves The Machine Gun Etiquette. Well, they get up, and whoever's introducing the band said, The Michelle Gun Elephant. That's how they pronounced it. And so suddenly they went from being the Machine Gun Etiquette to Michelle Gun Elephant. What's it mean? I don't know. But it came out of Bob Records. It was sealed, but when I opened it up, it had ring wear on it. It was actually, it was like wet. You can see it was stuck. So I called. There's this man. This happened. You have another one? They went back. They opened them all up. They were all had that. I says, listen, can you give me something? Yeah, I paid 20. They gave me $10 off. They gave me a $10 credit, which I used up quickly. But oh well. This is great. These guys, they sing, they play only in Japanese. Let's show you this. They do have a lyric sheet though to help you out. So there's the lyrics. Yes, it's all in Japanese. But there's such power. These guys are ferocious. It's on a purple vinyl. I mean, they just come out and they just slam you. This was their first album that was produced for the American market. They did it in 1998, but it was came out on CD in America in 2000. They broke up. They started in 91. They broke up in 2003. Their CDs, if you can find them, they're going $40, $50 for their CDs, as I have some on my list. Really expensive stuff. Just super happy to have this. They once in a while, their titles of their songs are in English, but they sing in Japanese, but they don't make sense. We got West Cranberry Drive, Smokin' Billy, Satanic Boom Boom Head, Dogway, Free Devil Jam. I don't know what it means. They just took English words, but great stuff. Then, at this, I went down to my local guy, Mexican Rumble Shout Out. Isn't that neat? It's Mexican garage rock from the early 60s. They are really influenced by Bill Haley and by Gene Vincent, but also Neil Sedaka and Paul Anka. Well, they kind of didn't put that stuff on here. This is more the Bill Haley and the and Gene Vincent type material. This is the packaging it came. Santos Records. So, I was like, really? That's how it was packaged. Some guy went around and found all these old 45s. So some of the quality isn't that good because these were really rare and hard to find. But he got them all put together, and we came out with this garage rock from Mexico. And so you're doing, songs like Satisfaction in their own way in Mexican. Actually, you listen to this, and you'll recognize a lot of the songs. You look at the title, what is that? What is that? Then you hear it go, I know that song. They're just taking some of our stuff, our music, and making it their own. 60s Mexican garage rock, absolutely a hoop to buy. From Record Store Day, we had Johnny Griffin and Eddie Lockjaw Davis, and I got this. Really great album. A lot of people have showed this on the VC, a lot of the jazz guys. Eddie Lockjaw Davis born in 22, died in 86. You know, he played for a while, you know, 40s and that with the big bands. He played with Louis Armstrong. He played with Count Basie, among many others. But in 60 through 62, he got together Johnny Griffith and with Johnny Griffith. So we had Johnny Griffith and Eddie Lockjaw Davis playing together. Both were tenor saxes. Both were very, very good. They could hold their own with the very best. And so you get dueling tenor sax. And, you know, when I listen to it, really, Davis has more of this hard charge and hard bop. Lockjaw is aggressive, is more, I believe, a little more fluid, a little smoother. Fun album. This is recorded live in Seattle at the Penthouse Lounge for a radio station, so they released it. Actually, there was a lot of recordings, over 200 recordings done at Penthouse. So I'm sure you're going to see many more of these coming out from different groups. So really nice climb from Record Store Day. You know, the saxophones, they blare, they're hard, they go just fast, but the drums swing. Final one I'm going to show because I got just enough time. Blues from B.B. King. I picked this up. You can find a lot of B.B. King inexpensive out there, you know, because, you know, people want Muddy, they want Wolf, and so B.B. King also sold a lot more albums. You know, he did The Thrill Is Gone and became a household name as far as blues. So you can find this stuff. This is from 1967. It's just a live set of his. Just beautiful stuff. It's just fun. I'm not a huge B.B. King fan. He is not my favorite bluesman. Yeah, you think Wolf, and when you think of the Chicago bluesman, it's gritty, it's dirty. I really like that in blues. B.B. was really smooth, but when you listen to guitar riffs, more guitar riffs are taken from B.B. King than any of the others. They just had this smooth feel with his guitar, Lucille. Fun to get. You know, I don't pick up a lot of his, but this is one I've never seen, and I wanted to get it. It was in good shape, great vinyl, so super happy to pick that one up. Blues is King from 1967, B.B. King. Chris Bluesman vinyl, there you go. Not only that, for my buddy Chris, the Blues Brothers are alive and well here in my basement. All right, there we go. I'm sorry for the late show. It took me 2 hours to download this last week. 2 hours. Gee, many crickets. The week before, 20 minutes. Who knows? We're going to see what happens today. All right, I talked really fast, but I wanted to get through that because I have so much stuff. I could have done a Barnes & Noble one. There's a lot of those. It's exciting. Half off. You know, I've been there 3 times. I probably got 30 albums from him. Quite honestly, his albums I was interested in, but I just didn't buy. They weren't as important. I didn't get anything that was like, oh, I gotta have this. But I got stuff that I wanted. You know, I would have liked, but it wasn't necessary. So, hey, 50% off, I'll do that, right? Appreciate everybody. New subscribers, thank you so much. Please comment, talk to me. I'll talk back, but in a good way. I like it. Give me a thumbs up, and because that's a good thing, I'm told. So everyone, have a great week. Snow, rain, ice going on here. It's totally sucks, but that's the way it is. It's Michigan and it's winter time. Thanks everyone. Have a very great week. Bye.